Many of us are all but addicted to takeaway food and drink. That means packaging, and that means waste. Some companies are pushing compostable containers, as customers appear to have an appetite for them.
If you knew that a company was using compostable packaging, would you be more likely to choose them?
Yes, absolutely.
Why
Because I think it means that they're taking steps to go in the right direction for society, and that's really important to me personally as a consumer.
But are they really a good solution? Time for a big bin dive.
What am I looking at here, Sam?
Well, this particular area is called bagasse or biocane. It's actually made from the sugarcane product. So when you take sugarcane, you press it, you get the juice out for sugar, and you're left with this pulpy fibre called bagasse.
And that turns into this?
Eventually, yes.
A sudden change when we get to here, what looks like conventional plastic, to me at least.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of people when we first put this onto the market kind of come and say, you're just selling plastic. We have to explain to them, no, this is actually a plant-based plastic, so it's made from starch.
This warehouse isn't full of products, it's full of packaging for other products. It shows you quite what a massive industry packaging is and what a huge environmental footprint it can have.
And being compostable suggests that they readily turn back to nature. But the problem is, compostables frequently turn out to be, well, not compostable, at least at home. Danielle Perkis ran an experiment involving hundreds of people over 2 years.
When we looked at some of these materials, especially the ones that have been certified as home compostable, which means they've been tested in a lab, much like this, we found that actually those materials didn't home compost in home composting timeframes, in people's own gardens, as had been promised on the label.
And there's another problem. Most homes lack a compost heap. Where should they put compostable packaging? Not in the recycling, as it is completely incompatible with the process and can contaminate the whole bin, meaning it would all go to landfill.
We haven't got the right labelling, messaging and collection in place to actually make that work. So right now, compostable packaging, the best place for it is to go into the bin.
A revelation for some.
I feel a bit lied to.
I feel a little bit betrayed, especially from all the advertising that you see these days.
God, I must tell my flatmates now, because we're always getting takeaway coffees and we always just we're like, oh yeah, we're doing so good for the environment, we'll just wash out and just throw it into the recycling. Okay, apparently not now.
So a lot of concern I hear about compostable plastics. I mean, the first is that they're not as compostable as you say. They don't break down as easily. How can you guarantee that they do break down, as you say?
I think the challenge we have, especially with home compostability, is people need to understand what a well-maintained compost heap. It isn't just putting a pile of leaves in a corner or burying it somewhere. It needs to have aeration and turned and churned regularly. In those compost areas, we find that it does break down properly, and that's what the official standard tests for.
Compostable containers do break down in well-run commercial facilities, but these are rare in the UK, and this scarcity, combined with poor home composting outcomes, has caused some environmentally minded companies to dump compostables.
We decided that we should remove it from our range until the industry could provide resources to actually process this waste. When we looked at the research that came out last year from UCL, we were quite shocked, and we couldn't guarantee to our customers that the packaging would actually be processed in the way that we were telling them that it was.
But manufacturers like Biopack insist compostable containers have a role with food. It doesn't matter if the containers are dirty. Contaminated plastic almost always gets burned or buried, whereas food on compostable packaging actually helps it to decompose.
Compostables aren't here to say, look, we need to replace every single plastic in existence with compostable plastic. It's a niche area. We say there's 3 main areas you should do it. Tea bags, put them in compostable plastic, because if it's in a plastic wrapper, you can't recycle the tea, you can't recycle the plastic. Put it in a compostable, you can recycle both, no problems at all. Second one is labelling for food. So when you have bananas, those labels that go on the outside, they need to be compostable, or else how can you recycle that banana peel? And the final one, which is the big one, is food service. You go into any fast food restaurant chain, look in their bin, there's cardboard, there's plastic, there's ketchup, all over everything. And that's supposed to go to recycling. It doesn't, it all gets incinerated. It can all be composted though.
What you're saying, a great advantage of your material is it can be dirty and still have, if you like, an environmentally benign outcome.
That's the whole purpose of it. Compostable packaging isn't about composting this cup. It's about composting the food that is in the cup.
And that's the takeaway emerging from this rather murky picture. If you're sure it's compostable packaging, bin it with the food waste if that's collected in your area, and in the black bin if it's not. Just never with the recyclables. Tom Heap, Sky News.